Hello. Hey, everyone. It is me. It's Shamira P. Saunders, known as author, life coach, and peer specialist. And I wanted to welcome you guys to one of the first in many live YouTube channels. So I am really getting my foot together and getting things together so I can give you guys the great experiences and knowledge and understanding of mental health and suicide awareness. So we're first going to start off. This is Saunders Associates and Co. SACO, SACO, which stands for Saunders Associates and Co. The C is Co. And so we call it Seiko. Instead of Psycho, we're not going to do Psycho. We're going to do Seiko. So I'm a little nervous, but I am going to do this. Hey, Cuzzo. So I am going to try to get everything out in one session. This is an hour session. You guys are more than welcome to come back, come in, come out. If you miss some situations that we're talking about, make sure you come back and, replay the video. So the first part we're going to talk about how many different bipolar disorders are there. So do anyone know how many bipolar disorders there are? So I'm gonna just wait a couple for, if you want to just think about it, give me a random number before I give you the magical number, right? So it is only two different styles of bipolar disorder. One of them is bipolar 1. Bipolar 1 is more so manic. It's more so severe. Um, it's honestly exactly what it is, manic. Like, it's manic depression. It's just manic. It's with bipolar, it's either you're high, you're low. There are in betweens. Well, I am the one in between. I am bipolar 2, or I have bipolar 2. Let me just take that out of my vocabulary, because we can always say that we have, or we are. There we go. We are. People say, "Oh, you're bipolar." No, I have bipolar. I am not bipolar. I have bipolar. I've been diagnosed with bipolar. Now, with bipolar 1, you have the manic episodes. You have excuse me, you have like the different sides, I would say, of manic. You have the point where you're just all over the place, you can't find your footing. It's more stressful, I would say, more strenuous, more stressful. Bipolar 2 is more so kind of like the mix. It's not as severe as 1. 1 and 2 are, sometimes they can collide. Sometimes you can have peak moments of them, but you won't have where you're always having 2 if you're 1, or if you're always having 1 and you're 2. It's, you may have peak moments, but it's not a lot. What I will say about myself and being diagnosed with having bipolar 2, it does become very extraneous at times, especially when you get into new relationships, you get into new partnerships, you get into new friendships, and sometimes people don't necessarily know really what they want to say concerning, hey, you have bipolar, or oh no, you're just having one of those bipolar moments. Hey, Queen, how are you? Everyone, come on in, come see me, come talk to me, because I am excited to come talk with you and to give you some of my experiences of having bipolar. If there is a difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 and borderline. It's very, very different. Borderline personality is something also that I deal with as well. I deal with borderline personalities. So you'll have Lacey, you'll have Locks of a Poet, you have Coach CEO, you have all of these different entities, but they are still me. So, you guys see me from different styles of journeys and different things that I've done and being very creative. But this is a part of me that I needed to make sure that I was grounded enough to come and talk with you guys about what it is that bipolar really is associated with. So today we're going to talk about the myths and the truths about having bipolar 1, bipolar 2. I'll touch a little bit on the borderline, but possibly that won't be maybe until my next segment, which will be next Monday. So every Monday, guys, you will see me here every single Monday, which is Monday. It's Mental Health Monday. So you will see me here every Monday, and we will just sit down and we will talk about the negative stigmas that are associated with mental health and suicide. And we're going to have some fun stuff to do too. I'm also going to be shouting out some great entrepreneurs or business people, I'll say, business women and businessmen who have done a lot of things and have made some things. And I want to shout them out too. I definitely want to shout them out. So if you guys have a business, if you guys have some product services that you want me to express and talk about and show and share, and you got some medium shirts you want me to put on and see how the things work, this is all going to happen here at the Seiko. All right, so that is what it's called. It's the Seiko. So with bipolar 1, now I also make sure I have some um, statistics, some symptoms, some diagnosis. So you'll see me reading off my phone as well. I do have some things that I wrote down because unfortunately, with being bipolar or with having bipolar, sometimes depending on how long you've been taking medication, what type of medication you take, it also can have some type of side effects, and that's really what happened to me. Unfortunately, my brain is really, how can I say it? My brain is, I'm very unforgettable, or very forgetful, I'll say. So I have to write everything down, sticky notes, memos everywhere. And sometimes having bipolar, you can sometimes cross lines. Your brain sometimes can cross, and it can be more like you have too many windows open. Sometimes there's some days I want to write, I want to cook, I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to do all of these things, and I do them because I'm very comfortable at being who I am. You have a lot of people that aren't as comfortable, and I feel as though they're not as comfortable because they may have possibly gotten the wrong information of what they are dealing with and how to even cope with it, good or bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and start reading some diagnosis and statistics and things like that concerning the myths around bipolar. So this one, I'm going to go to a recommended site, which is WebMD. And you guys can also look these things up on your own, going into further details, giving you more meat. So basically, let me turn this down some. So it goes into 8 myths about bipolar disorder. Because of the increased awareness and diagnosis, more people than ever before have basic understanding of bipolar disorder, the condition formerly known as manic depression. Yet myths persist about this mental disorder that causes mood shifts from depression to mania, and it affects a person's energy and their ability to function. Now, one of the things that was happening with me concerning, with me having bipolar, when I was working, as they call it, the corporate world, when I was working in the corporate world, I was a CNA for 8 years, right? Man, when I tell you my bipolar started to get horrible, it was even to the point where I was showing up to work late. I was showing up to work on my days off. I was in my home, where those days off, I was supposed to be at work. No, I'm thinking it's days off. I would get my days, my times mixed up. I would get lost a lot. So, and then the medications that I were on, um, it wasn't it wasn't helping. Excuse me one second. I do have a visitor, and hopefully she'll come on and speak with you guys as well. I'll be right back. All right, going back. She must be parking, so I'll come back and and talk with you guys and finish reading. Um, so it said, yes, myths persist about the mental disorder that causes mood shifts from depression to mania, affects person's energy and ability to function. Now, one of the first myths that came up were bipolar disorder is a rare condition. Well, from WebMD, it's stating that bipolar is not a rare condition. It's a not so. According to statistics and research, in a given year, bipolar disorder affects about 5.7 million Americans. Now, let's just talk about that 5.7 million, right? That's a freaking huge number. That's a huge number. Like 5.7 million Americans. That's not even putting them in the class of black, white, Spanish, Oriental. Like it's no like seriously, 5.7 million Americans, and those are adults. So you can just imagine the children, right, with the ADHD, PTSD, going through these different things. And we always scream at our kids. We always, our parents always scream at us, like, what is wrong with you? And blah, blah, blah. Or you have something wrong with you. No, figure it out. Figure out what's going on with your child, because your child will grow up to be a huge adult with the same issues. Give me one second. Hey, come here. You lock the door? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's waiting for me at the door looking like, okay, where you at? You can come sit if you want to come sit over here, move these books and stuff like that. So I just started my live and, talking with some people, giving them some statistics. We're talking about myths. If you want to stick your head in the camera, say hello. Um, I'm really excited that this woman also is here because she's young, she's vibrant, and she wants to get out in the community. She wants to help mental health, suicide, putting on different type of events for the children. So this is Ashanti, everyone. And, Ashanti is really awesome sauce. Her and I connected on Facebook, and yeah, so we getting ready to rip 2019 up, right? Oh, isn't it called rip the mask off. Yeah, so 2019. And matter of fact, that is May 18, 2019, and that will be at 4300 Lancaster Ave. We're gonna get that right. We're gonna get that right. But so when it comes to the bipolar myth of is it a rare condition? No, it's not. It's not a rare condition. It also states here that 2.6% of the US population are 18 and older. So that's out of 5.7 million Americans, adults have this bipolar disorder. And out of that 5.7 million American adults, 2.6 of the US population is 18 and older. So that's a really huge, huge number. So I just wanted to let you guys know that it's really not rare to have bipolar disorder, to have the bipolar disorder. So I feel as though if that's what you feel like you are experiencing, you're questioning, are you bipolar? Have you had these issues going on? Would you want to talk to someone? Sure, cool beans. If you want to talk to me, I'm here. Um, so the second bipolar myth is bipolar disorder is just another name for a mood swing. So technically it's not. It's really not another name for a mood swing because it's associated with more so like the chemical imbalances in our brain and in our body and our bloodstream. Those things kind of like help bring the process a little bit more all over the place because think about it, the stuff that's in our food, the stuff that we breathe, we put on our skin. Um, the other day, me and my oldest daughter, we had blueberries. The blueberries are really little, like this. That blueberry was huge. That blueberry was like this. We ate a grape last night. The grape literally was like this, with no seeds in them at all, like not one. So it's more so that we have to watch what we eat. We have to watch our hours that we sleep. We have to watch our intake of liquids, of different type of food. What are we putting in our body to help the process of us being or of us having bipolar? What are you eating? Are you eating rat food? Are you eating what are you eating? What are you putting in your body? Are you, after you eat the rat food, are you drinking Pepsi? Are you gulping it down? And it tastes good, but think about the long term from it. That's the same Pepsi that you can put on your car to get the rust and the corrosion and stuff off. I don't want that in my body. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on. I'm like inside my body. I'm taking all the rust and all the things that's in. Man, no, I refuse to not do it. So sodas kill me. So you gotta be careful with the mood swings with food associated with food. Like I said, you guys can go onto WebMD and look these up for yourself as well. Um, I'm just more so keeping myself on track, so that's kind of why I'm pivoting back and forth between the screen and the phone screen, just to get myself prepared for 2019 because I feel like Ashanti and I, and along with other amazing business women and men are going to be out here kicking some mental health and suicide booty. Okay. So, bipolar myth number 3. People with bipolar disorder shift back and forth from depression to mania very often. Well, the personality, the Jackal Hyde, what is it? The Jackal and Mr. Hyde.
I think so, yeah.
I said it right. I always say it the wrong way. I always say either Mrs. Jackal or Mr. Hyde girl, I mess it all up. I mess it all up. So, but you guys know what I mean. Um, it's this is what I will say about it. You have your ups and your downs. And that's just with anybody. Cancer, bipolar, a dog, a Mickey Mouse, that's running underneath your cavern. Everyone has their moments. Everyone has those times. However, it's all about what you do to differentiate the difference and say, you know what, I do have what I have. So I'm not gonna sit up here and eat all these Cheetos and all this what is the word? It's not produce. What is that when it's the microwavable food? What is all that called?
The dinner.
Yeah, not the dinner, but like it's the fast food.
Movie
But
dinners.
what is it called though? It's like the what they have in it. It's not the pesticide. Yeah, I mean pesticide, all of that, the GMO, all of those things. So you have to,
Flavor.
yeah, so you have to be very, very careful. Do people with bipolar shift back and forth more quickly than others? But that's not the typical pattern. Like the typical pattern, I know for me is the typical pattern for me. Yes, there we go, cousin. Processed foods. Thank you. Processed foods. Yes. When you eat a lot of the processed foods, man, you are missing out on the greatest nutrition in life of just the naturalness of you. So, when we have some water, some water. Speaking of that, you guys will see that movie too. But just having the mindset of if I want to change, it first starts with your mind. Period, point blank. There's nothing too sugar coated. There's nothing to let me put some glitter on it, stamp it, send it to you. No, it's plain and simple. If you want to change the way you eat, if you want to change the way you court relationships, if you want to change the way you parent your children, if you want to change the way that you do anything, you have to change the way that you do everything. And by changing the way you do everything is by first starting with your mind. If you can't start with your mind to say, I want to lose the weight before, I want to lose the weight up here first before I lose the weight on my body. Because if I lose the weight on my body and I don't work on this, then once I lose the weight on my body, I'm still going to feel like I have a lot of weight up here, which is eventually everything that goes up must come down. So if it's up here, it's going to come down. It's going to come to the rest of your body. And then again, you could have lost 200 pounds. If you look in that mirror or if you put some clothes on, if you eat whatever you eat, you're still going to feel like you've never lost that 200 pounds because it's up here first. It starts with the top of your head and it ends to the bottom of your feet and underneath it. So that's including your fingertips, that's including your nails, that's including your body, that's including every part of you have to be one, have to be in sync, and have to be aligned. If you are you can drive a car. You can drive a car with maybe a flat, but I don't know how far you're going to get with that flat, for one. For two, I don't know how long it's going to be before the flat turns into and it starts cracking the rim. And then for three, what if you lose the whole tire and the whole thing? And it's like you have three wheels. You're not going to get that far with three wheels. So in order to truly get far in life where you want to be, no matter if you have bipolar, PTSD, ODD, multiple personalities disorder, borderline personality disorder, any of those things, cancer, whatever, you have to learn how to start with you first. And it starts with here. So, bipolar myth number 4. When they're in the maniac phase, people with bipolar disorder are often very happy. True for some. Experts tell WebMD, but not for others. And a person with bipolar disorder may enter the maniac phase happy, but not stay that way, the hallmark phase. So the hallmark phase, I say the hallmark phase, but they say the hallmark of mania is a euphoric or elevated mood. So when it comes to that part, majority of the time people that know me know that I'm always happy. And let me correct that I'm always joyful, that I'm always in the joyful state of mind. And I'm always in a joyful state of mind because I am excited that I woke up this morning. I am excited that I am able to live another day. I am excited that I am able to give someone some type of information that I didn't have. And now it's now where I have to give back. I have to give back to my people. I have to give back to all people. I have to give back to what was given to me. And I gave that to myself because I was in a very dark, dim, lost place. I mean, I took 8 medications, like 8 medications per day over the course of, oh man, mm, let's see. I moved in West Philly about 2011. So I want to say 2008. So this is 2018. So for 10 years, not 10 years, because I stopped taking medication 3 years ago, pregnant with a baby. Um, However, 3 years prior, so 2018, 17, 16, 2016, right? So 2015.
Yeah.
2015, yes. 2015 was the last time I actually had a psychiatric drug in my body. And that was one of my goals. I had a goal plan, and I think it's somewhere. Give me this piece of paper right there. No, right here. Right here. Yeah, no, that's not it. No, it's somewhere here. But in 2012, I made the decision to state that I do not want any more psychiatric medication flowing through my body. Why? Because I have a family to take care of, and a lot of those drugs put that more of a fog on you than you already have. So it was kind of like I was carrying like a double fog around. And I didn't like it. I didn't like how it felt. I didn't like how it made me feel. I didn't like how I looked when I looked in the mirror. I looked always angry. You guys may hear the notification on my laptop. I haven't figured out yet how to mute it because when I muted the whole laptop. So, and I had to go in and reconstruct it to get it back, to YouTube it to figure it out. So this time you may hear it, but I promise in the next video I'll work it out. Um, but yeah, I stayed happy. I remain joyful now, not even happy. I remain joyful because I believe that joy is way more better anyway than happiness because joy is with me. So no matter if Ashanti, you and I have an argument, we're friends, we're sister girls, we homies, we're business partners, and it's like you and I have a huge falling out, right? I'm going to understand where my place was in the argument or the disagreement. But however, I'm going to more so be still joyful because no matter who I come in contact with, that has nothing to do with my joy, right? So my happiness is what you and I correlate together. So we're happy, we're making great music, we're touching lives, we're traveling, we're doing things, we're networking each other, we're helping each other, helping our brothers and our sisters in the community. And we can have a bad day. Matter of fact, we're going to have a lot of bad days. However, we're going to have more greater days with joy than happiness. So I wanted to definitely say that. So a lot of people really go up and down. It really depends on that person. It really depends on exactly what that person is diagnosed with. It really depends on what that person has in their energy, their vicinity, to can either make or break a person with bipolar. I think I did three, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah, so I was on four. Okay, so five. So five is there is a bipolar test. Now, I had went to go pick my middle daughter up from school and talking to her counselor. Her counselor was like, "Oh, she can get a test for bipolar disorder." I don't. She was like, "Well, I don't have." She was like, "I don't have bipolar disorder." She was like, "But I know I'm ADHD." Like, and this is a whole counselor at a school, so she's like, "Yeah, I know I'm freaking ADHD. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I am freaking ADHD." And I'm like, but you're a counselor. I don't know. I might have to take my kid out to school. I don't know. I don't know. So this is what I do want to say. No, there is no actual bipolar test. There is no test like you're taking a pregnancy test or, women, we get the mammograms and it tells the fat cells. And if we got angry people in our areas, I love areas around here, and so it says not true. In early 2018, I'm sorry, 2008, there we go. An at-home popular bipolar test sold over the internet, made headlines, but the test only tells users whether their genetic makeup puts them at higher risk or having or getting bipolar disorder. So meaning to say, it's kind of like a basically the test is not going to help you. Like you just want to have a test to state that either you're going to get or you're in risk of it, you're at a higher risk of it or at a lower risk, but that's still not telling you, hey, you have, which one do you have? Like, you have that one or you have bipolar 2. So more so it just tells you some, but it doesn't really tell you. It's like when you get a pregnancy test. You take a pregnancy test, it tell you if you are or you're not, but it doesn't tell you it doesn't tell you how far along you are. It doesn't tell you what you're having. It doesn't tell you your expected due. It doesn't tell you that. Now it may have some advanced ones like what's that first response? The one that's like $60 basically. um so you have certain things like that that can tell you uh a brush of it, but it doesn't tell you in full force a bird's eye view of really what you have or what's going on with you. So I would also tell you to make sure you make an appointment, talk with your doctor, talk to your psychiatrist, your therapist, your life coach, however, and see what you can do to figure your oomph out. So it says bipolar myth 6. Bipolar disorder can't be diagnosed until age 18. Not true. But it's true that it's more difficult to diagnose it in some people than in others because of varying patterns of the disorder. Meaning to say, if your child is 6 years old, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to even kind of like put that even in the child's mind. Oh, you're 6, you're bipolar. Why? Because although you can get like the healthcare evaluations and things like that, or your IQ score, and when you go through an IQ score, it also gives you more in debt as well. Um, but you can get diagnosed at an early age. I was diagnosed at an early age. I was diagnosed at 11 years old. However, you don't really start seeing the bipolar until you get older. So when you're about in your, I want to say teens, you're about maybe 18, 19, somewhere around there, 16, 17, to when you start to get like 20. So Aaliyah is my cousin. She's awesome sauce. She says some people say, "Oh, everyone has a little bipolar in them." They say it as a joke. Correct. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm bipolar," or they'll say, "Oh, I'm just having one of my bipolar." Like what? Like what are you? What are we talking about here? Let's first get to that point, that the core part. What are we talking about? Aaliyah also says, how can a person know for sure if they are in fact suffering from bipolar disorder? That's a good question. One of the ways how you can really tell, for one, if you have like racing thoughts, that's one of, I can say, the most hugest part, and that is called rapid racing. Hold on a second, I wrote it down. I think it's called rapping cycling. Yes. Rapping cycling. And then so you have rapid cycling. You also have ultra rapid cycling. And then you have a thing called, and I cannot pronounce this correctly, it's is it ultradian? Hold on, guardian. Ultradian. I believe it's ultradian. And ultradian is more so like you have the rapid racing thoughts. You have the rapid racing thoughts, right? And then you have even stronger, like the rapid racing thoughts. Like, so you, like, the third one would be more so like it's you in a bubble. You just got everything going on. You don't know what's going on. But one of the great things I can say about having bipolar is the fact that once you start getting to that point in your life where you know where what people say you are and what you are, then it's more so like, okay, I have bipolar disorder. However, that's not what I'm dealing with right now. Right now, I'm dealing with it because I'm mad. I'm angry because you cheated on me, or I'm angry because you called me a hurt name, or you did something to my children. That's not a bipolar episode. That's because I'm human and I'm angry and you pissed me off, basically. So, you have those points where, and I mean, I've gotten to a lot of relationships where, oh man, you just having one of your bipolar moments. Like, and I'm like, no, dude, like, I'm just sick of your ish. Like, I'm sick of you treating me the way you choose to. And now I'm speaking up about it. So when you speak up about things, sometimes it can have a good effect or may not. But that is one of the greatest things about knowing if you have bipolar or not. Um, you have the racing thoughts. You have, and I'll definitely go into more. Yes, I definitely dislike when people go through the the negative stigmas that are associated with having bipolar, with having depression, with suicide. There are 65, I think I 55,000. Yes, I am 55,000, and I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I don't know if it's million or thousands, and I definitely will check back to that. So I want to make sure I give you guys the updated current information and the right information from me as well. Um, but I'll definitely talk more about suicide on another issue, and maybe one day you can come in and talk about some of your event planning and things you do to help the community, and maybe your story, because I feel like she has a story, but she hasn't really told me yet. So it will go to that point. So like I said, always make sure you check back here, see what's going on every Monday. I am dedicating myself at this spot right here with my Marilyn Monroe behind me and my lemon trees. I will talk about those later. Um, but bipolar and knowing that you have bipolar, feeling like you have bipolar and knowing you have bipolar are so two different feelings, two different conversations, two different of everything. And I definitely will, Aaliyah, get to more in depth of your question on how could you know if you have bipolar or not. I always will say the best way, first and foremost, is to talk with your healthcare provider and talk with them and see, hey, I'm feeling this type of way. I'm not eating properly. I'm not sleeping properly. One of the other things of having bipolar is also insomnia. So I've been suffering with insomnia for well over about maybe 15, 16 years. And it really is a difficult time for me when my insomnia is really high. I go through a lot of situations. I go through a lot of racing thoughts. I also go through the indecisive moment where I don't know if I want to, which still is attached to the racing thoughts, or as it's called, we want to call things by the proper name. So it is a rapid cycling, depending on if you have it mild, medium, or severe. It's really the difference. There are times when my insomnia is at a higher point. I really more so experience, and I believe the name of it is Ultradian. It's Ultrdian. Yes, the insomnia helps out a lot. You no. Go back out. Go back out. You're not no. Go wipe your nose. We're not gonna put you in the camera with your nose looking like that. Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So yes, it is the insomnia for me is really, really high. On most nights when I'm staying up real late, um I don't know sometimes if I want to cook, if I want to clean, if I want to go run around a block 4 times, if I want to,
That's me sometimes.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There are times when I don't know,
Midnight cooking.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh man. I stay with the midnight.
2 in the morning, just randomly making cookies or
And it's so crazy, and it's just like you go through the randomness. I really can say that of having the insomnia really high, man, I go through so many random moments, and then when I'm down, I'll be like, I did that. What?
Yeah,
When did I do this?
when did you change your room around?
Yeah, like literally, look at the couch and the chair. Like literally, that was not there. The trampoline was where the love chair was at. And I don't know what happened 2 days, 3 days ago. I just came here. I was like, let me just switch this to the other side. And sometimes you have that happen where there's times you don't really know what is going on with you. You know that you're restless, you know that you're tired, but you're like a kid and you feel as though you're going to miss something if you stay up. And that's the part where that could be one of the signs of having bipolar. I don't really remember, because I've been experienced this for so many years. I don't even remember. It's kind of like remembering that first time you fell off the bike. Like I was like 2, 5. I don't know. I'm 36 now. So many things have happened. So many things have transpired. So many things have gotten better. Some have got worse. And sometimes I really don't have the initiative in my brain to say, you know what, this is really what all the symptoms are right at that moment. Um, One of the other symptoms as well is talking really I don't know if it's a talking really fast with the racing thoughts, that when you have the racing thoughts up here, it's like it comes down. That's how I know, especially with my middle daughter. It's like she, ma, this is and I'll be like, give me a second, just 5 minutes. I promise you, I'll be back. 7 minutes tops. Um, Can you speak on bipolar disorder and drug abuse addiction? I think there is a connection. My son was addicted to prescription pain pills. Now, what I will, and I'm gonna speak briefly on that until and then one of the next segments, I'll make sure I have in-depth information for you. Um, One of the things that I can say about bipolar disorder, as well as personality disorder, and mixing them with drugs, mixing them with alcohol, it can really be a down spiral. It really can send someone completely to the bottom. I don't know personally, because I've never taken my prescription medication with alcohol, or I've never taking like other type of drugs, things like that. What I will say about it, of just taking the medication drugs and trying to commit suicide with them, um, the like I said, the gloominess feeling that I felt while on them. I don't recommend anyone to take prescription medication or over the counter medication or street drug medication and mix them with that, especially if they don't really know kind of like which one are you. Because I feel as though with bipolar, if you know which one you are, I feel like you can at least better help assess yourself. You can better help yourself than, I don't know, like some people don't even, prime example, a lot of people that smoke cigarettes, right? I used to be a really heavy smoker. Ask a lot of cigarette smokers, do they know how many um let's say the word when you smoking, um what is it called, okay, there we go, I got it. So you have first hand smoke, you have second hand smoke, you have third hand smoke. A lot of people don't even know about third hand smoke. A lot of people that smoke cigarettes do not know that there's third hand smoking, which third hand smoking is actually more dangerous than the first smoke. But if you don't know that, you could be killing your baby. You could be killing your grandmom that's on oxygen. You don't know. So when you know, it's not only that when you know you do better, but it's when you know you show better. So one of the things that I'll say about drug abuse, drug addiction, as well as mental health, suicide, prescription drugs, all of those things, pain pills. If you do not have a sponsor, if you do not have a support person, if you do not have a counselor, if you do not have a life coach, if you do not have a psychiatrist, if you do not have a therapist, if you do not have someone that is helping you at least keep your accountability, especially knowing the abuse, the the down spiral that you're on, then yeah, you could be crashing and burning your whole entire life, your friends and family, everyone around you, because eventually everyone will be affected by the the unbalance. Why? Because bipolar is a very unbalanced um, diagnosis. Not only is it an unbalanced diagnosis, but it's also a diagnose where you really have to know which one you are. You don't know if you are bipolar 1, which is manic depression. You don't know if you are bipolar 2. Now, the bipolar 2, um, it's called hypomania. So, bipolar 1 is manic episode, severe mania. And bipolar 2 is hypomania, mild mania. Um, and it really helps out a lot when, again, you know which one you are. You said, yeah, Aaliyah said, yeah, lots of people are misinformed about bipolar disorder. I definitely agree with you on that. A lot of people feel as though you can just catch it, or a lot of people feel as though you like I say, you having one of these bipolar moments, but you just can't be angry. You know, you're not entitled. A lot of people feel as though bipolar people are entitled to do whatever. They're not entitled to have happiness. They're not entitled to have a great job. They're not entitled to be in a wonderful, meaningful relationship. They're not entitled to these things where, in my opinion, personally, I believe that honestly, a lot of us that are going through this, I really want to say it's kind of society fault as well, because you guys put the food out here that we put in our body. You are the people that put the juices out here and put the sodas out here. And again, it's not the actual product, it's the content that's in the product. So you can have this really great water, right? But if that water has gasoline in it, mixture with it, or has hormones in it, you know, then it's not water. Now it's something else. But water itself is really great. But when you start putting those other, entities in it, and now it's a whole nother chemical. So now a whole nother drug. Um, Do you think it's hereditary? Yes, I do think it's hereditary. Matter of fact, it is. It can be hereditary, and then it also can be from our environment. It can be from the food. It can be from trauma. It can be from um, trauma-wise. It can be something that triggered it, that it wasn't there before, and now it's there now. It's kind of like if you eat shrimp, you're allergic to shrimp, but you've been eating shrimp your whole life, and then all of a sudden you break out really bad because your body was being immune to it. And sometimes when your body is immune to things, it really has a different type of effect than if it would just hit somebody from the first time. Somebody can smoke crack and die instantly. Somebody can smoke crack and they may not even die yet. You see what I'm saying? It may take them to like really bust their nose, their membrane in their nose, and all of those things for it to really down spiral, and then boom, that he did. He overdosed. So it really depends. But do I believe that it's hereditary? Yes. I am one of the ones who have gotten bipolar from being hereditary. Unfortunately, it's really on both sides of my family. So, on my mother's side of the family, you have the schizophrenia, you have the bipolar, you have fibroid tumors, you have, like, we have a lot of women problems with like heavy menstrual cycles, things like that. Where on my father's side of the family, we have some of the things we have on my mom's side, but it's more potent on my father's side. My father's side of the family, it's a lot of the bipolar. When I say a huge amount of my father's side of the family have bipolar. Now, I don't know if it was from the Irish side, the Native American side, but all I know is on my father's side, it is really a huge amount of bipolar disorder, depression, um, and I feel like I didn't ask for it. I didn't wake up and say, hey, I want to be bipolar. Matter of fact, I don't even actually use the word bipolar unless I'm actually giving it in a seminar or, you know, that's basically it. Like, I don't really talk about bipolar. And I think that's why this is so important to me now, because I realized, like, okay, I talk about, from me being homeless, from, sexual abuse and all of those things that I've been through in life. But I never really talk about my mental health. I just have a broad of mental health. Like, mental health is huge. But then when you really go from the hugeness and go to the little parts, you'll have the bullets where, okay, now you have PTSD, now you have bipolar, now um, you have all of these different ADHD, you have ADD, you have multiple personality disorder. So all of those things very well can be hereditary. All of those things can very well bring you on a down spiral, or you can just be in the middle plane, or you can be up. Now, me, I'm more so, as having bipolar 2, I'm more so 2 or 3, more so meaning like, so you got, this is how I put the levels together in my head. So you got 1, and 1 is like the worst level ever with bipolar for me. Then the second level is more, it's like tears. And the second level is like, I'm in the middle, I'm mixed, I'm in the middle. Maybe not. It's topsy turvy. I don't know. Depends on which side you bring out first. I don't know. But then there is the third one for me, where it's just like I'm completely high up on, up here. And I don't like to actually be the third one. I really like being the second one, because I feel like it's more relatable. You don't get looked at as that side eye, like, mm. But when you too high up, or when you too low, people look at you like, mm-mm. And then I look back at them like, mm-mm. Like, you don't even know what I'm fighting about today. You don't even know what I had to do, honey, to even, get up out the bed this morning. So if I am on 3, let me be on 3 until I realize I'm on 3, honey, and I need to bring myself down another notch. So bipolar can very well be hereditary. It can also be environmental. It can also be, like I stated, with the food wise, juices, sodas, just certain things. Not saying that you drink a Pepsi and you bipolar. Not saying that you eat some candy corn or some sweets or some Doritos and you wake up and you bipolar. What I am saying is that can very well increase a lot of symptoms, a lot of misconstruction on bipolar disorder. So I really would highly recommend that anyone who is questioning, anyone who is questioning, your bipolar number, if it's 1 or 2. So myth number 7: people with bipolar disorder should not take antidepressants. Now, WebMD said it's not true. WebMD says WebMD explains where the myth originated. There's a concern, and it's valid. There's some people who are depressed and bipolar, if they take antidepressants, could flip into a mania, which I, I'm gonna say I've had that experience before, where me taking the antidepressants made me feel not only the clouds, but it also made me feel that Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. See, that's where I messed it up at. Mrs. So wait a minute. So it was 2 men. So it was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. So.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's maybe where I always got it wrong at, because I swore it was a man and a woman. I don't know why. Because I think I used to say Dr. Jekyll. Yeah, look it up for me. I think I used to say Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. See, even with that, we can get things misconstrued. So I think is we're gonna find out what it is. But when I would take depressant medication, it made me really feel like rah, like ugh, like I just wanted to smack you.
Yes, it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
So it's Dr. Jekyll. But is Dr. Jekyll, was that a man version of him? Or is that a woman version of him?
They're both. I think they're both.
Let me see. Strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Okay, so yeah. Okay. So maybe I can actually do something with this too, on one session, put the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde together. So we got about 5 more minutes and I am going to get out of here. So every Monday, I will be doing a live session like this where we can sit, we can talk, we can, it's nothing too extraneous, but just if you want some information, I can give you the knowledge that I know. I can give you also, we can look some things up and, we can just kind of like ping pong our information on each other. I am learning how to stay on topic, stay on cue, and I'm learning how to stay on and with time. So, with that being said,
The address.
oh yes. So, so the event that we are having, Ashanti and I, is May. I don't know why I keep saying March. May 18, 2019. And the address is 3870 Lancaster Avenue. And it is at the New Canvas Event Center. So make sure you guys check that out. We will definitely have more information. You can also log onto my website, www.saunders, SAUNDERS, co.org. So on there, you can find all the information about my book. The Coping Mechanisms series is also a workbook. You can find out if you would like to advertise your product or services on my website. You sure enough can. If you would like to also be a guest, I will be having some guests come on. You'll come through on Mondays, and it's only on Mondays. Monday. Also Mondays at 11 a.m. in the morning and 9:11 p.m. at night. So 9:11 in the morning and 9:11 p.m. at night. I will be doing a 20-minute free listening. So if you want to just call up, text, you have no one else to talk to, you want to get something out, it's killing you, you call the 1-800-suicide hotline, whatever the case may be. You don't have the number, whatever the case may be. You want to call, you want to talk to someone for 20 minutes, you want someone to just listen to you. I'm not even going to give you no advice unless you really truly want to, and I wouldn't even give you advice. I would just give you some different scenarios to kind of think about. You have to be very careful on giving people actual advice. So I now speak upon just my experience. If you guys do it, you do it. If not, then I'm just not, you're not taking me to court. Nope. So, with that being said, I wanted to real quick. I have a couple minutes. Aaliyah, I love for you to come on and be a guest. Aaliyah also sings, she writes, she does a lot of different things. She's an artist, and I would love for you to meet her and maybe hang out with her as well. Hang out with us all. So, the last part is I wanted to tell you guys real quick what my new weight loss number. So I really wanted to share it with you and show you real quick before we log off. So last night I went to weigh myself, and when I found the number, I was excited. I was excited because you gotta do the drum roll. That little drum roll. No.
Oh my God.
I want a drum roll. Yes, drum roll. Da, do, 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 drum roll. So, all right. I don't know if you guys can see it, but now my new weight is 227 pounds. You might have, I don't know if you can see it, but if you can read backwards, it's 227.6. So you see my little piggy feet. Yay, I love my little piggy feet. So 227 pounds, that is my new goal weight. And I am 27 pounds away from my actual overall goal weight, which is 200 or 199, whatever, which one comes first. So I am your girl, Coach CEO Saunders. Thank you for coming on and joining me, asking some lovely, lovely questions. I love you too, cousin. You're awesome sauce. I can't wait for us to link up every Monday. I'll be here every Monday, either at 12 or 12 midnight. So 12 in the afternoon or 12 midnight, depending on my schedule. So that is my time for today. I hope you guys at least learned something new about bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. Learned the difference between bipolar 1, which is maniac episode, which is more severe. Bipolar 2 is hypomania, and that's more mild. However, with it being more mild, you can really run the risk of it being kind of more mania 1, more severe with all of them going on. So thank you for joining Seiko, and I'll see you next Monday, either 12 afternoon or 12 the morning. See you all later. Thank you for watching me and joining me. And don't forget, log on to my website, www.saundersco.org. You can also order the book, the Coping Mechanism series, which is the workbook. It's on lulu.com. Search up the book title, The Coping Mechanism series by your author, Shamira P. Saunders, as well as The Telefacts, The Entrepreneur Lab, which is the first book, as well as Come See With Me and Ashanti and the rest of the people in the world doing and how we doing it in the community. And yeah, like I said, you want to call in, you want to talk, 267-819-8794. Again, 267-819-8794. I am your girl, Coach CEO Saunders, and Saunders Associates and Co., Seiko, and Saunders.org. Peace, love, and always. Go look at that hashtag. I am more than my mental health. Peace. CEO. CEO. Oh, wait, before I go, one more. So, here we go. This is the end of it, right? I'm going to show you the end of it. And this is where we are in life. We are the coping mechanism, and we are people coping together. All right? Peace, love, and always. Let's get coaching, as I normally say. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.